Wow, Elbaf really has me curious. One Piece is just way too entertaining, isn't it? Oh, hello, it's me! So everyone, here we have Jump 55 featuring One Piece chapter 1131. Wait, wasn't this last week's chapter? Anyway, let's move on. This week, One Piece is on break, so I was thinking about what to do. And you know, during the previous break, I talked about something that a lot of you watched, and that was about why chapter 1132 wasn't released as a draft version, or with just a few pages, but instead, there was absolutely nothing published. The reason for that decision is actually very simple. I think chapter 1132 is going to be an absolutely insane one. December is going to be an incredible month for One Piece, in my opinion. That got me thinking. Since chapter 1131 is the one right before it, I should go through it thoroughly, and of course, dive into the Elbaf arc this time. That said, for now, I've only got what's here in Jump. But by analyzing how this ties into the earlier parts of the story, we might be able to speculate about what's coming next. I'd love to discuss these ideas with all of you today. If you notice anything interesting, feel free to write it down in the comments. Based on those comments, I'll try to make more videos over the next 2 weeks. Alright, so let's get into it. One of the points that stood out to me is about Robin and Saul. In the latest chapter 1131, Robin cut her hair and looks way too cute. The Giants are also watching over her warmly. But then, something major happens. A teacher collapses and can't move. What's going on here? Does this mean Robin won't meet Saul? It's heartbreaking. I think there are two possibilities for what happens in chapter 1132. This is a scenario where Saul collapses in a comedic way. After realizing that Robin is coming to see him and finally being able to meet her again, Saul doesn't know how to face her because it's been so long. He's probably been worried about Robin all this time. Worried, and then collapses. Around him, everyone is in a panic, saying, "Oh no, Professor Saul has collapsed and isn't moving." This kind of situation is very typical in One Piece. A clear example of this would be when Sanji was with the Fishmen. He fainted with a nosebleed and collapsed so badly that he needed a blood transfusion. It's possible this is a similar comedic moment. If that's the case, I think it might even be drawn as a teaser panel. That's why I was waiting eagerly for the teaser last Friday. I hope they extend the teaser wait and include this scene. I'd love to see something like that depicted. For chapter 1132, if it focuses on Saul and Robin, or Saul and Robin's reunion, it would be incredibly emotional. Please, let this moment touch my heart. A development involving Saul and Robin would undoubtedly be a chapter where Oda-sensei gives it his all. He would definitely want to write this carefully. The adorable expression on Robin's face and Saul's comforting derechishi laugh. It would be beautiful to see these moments properly illustrated. Reunions are very important in One Piece. Oda has mentioned in past SBS Q&A sessions that the world of One Piece isn't as advanced as modern Earth. When people part ways and go far apart, it often means they may never meet again. There isn't a well-established system for sending letters either. While someone with a special bird like Newsku might be able to deliver messages, ordinary citizens find it difficult to communicate at all. In such a world, meeting someone you once thought was dead, someone who was an important figure in your life, is a profoundly joyful thing. That's why this reunion is bound to be written with great care. I think this chapter will focus not only on Saul and Robin meeting, but also on something more. I'm sure many of you feel the same. What's key here is the legacy of Ohara. Robin, of course, carries the will of Ohara. However, as Aokiji once said, the will of Ohara hasn't died. While this is believed to refer to Saul, there's another person who fits this description, Vegapunk. Vegapunk managed to send Lilith away with everyone's help, and Lilith is now in Elbaf. So, in Elbaf, we have Saul, Robin, and the inheritors of Ohara's will, those who can read the poneglyphs, all gathered in one place. This could lead to new developments about the man with the burn scar. I'm really looking forward to this part, and while the reunion between Robin and Saul will be heartwarming, this could also open the path to Laugh Tale. So here's a very important theory. There's speculation that the final road poneglyph might be in Elbaf. People have even joked about the possibility that the title RPG, used in a past chapter featuring the Neo Marines, might actually stand for Road Poneglyph. This expectation adds weight to the idea that the last road poneglyph could be an Elbaf. That's one possible scenario. Now, the second scenario is that something serious actually happened to Saul. Elbaf, being a country of giants, likely has various individuals and dynamics. While it may seem like a heavily guarded place, I don't think that's necessarily the case. Giants, after all, have a tendency to be easily deceived. For example, Dory and Brogy, despite having bounties of 1.8 billion berries each, were fooled by someone like Mr. 3, an opponent significantly weaker in terms of both strength and bounty. This suggests that giants are vulnerable to cunning tactics. Likewise, the Tontata tribe members were gullible, believing any story they were told without question. Similarly, I think even larger giants might share this trait of being easily deceived. Given Saul's kind-hearted nature, it's possible that someone close to him betrayed him. Perhaps an enemy infiltrated the giant's village, targeting Saul, or a skilled assassin was sent after him. But then the question arises, who could this assassin be? The Navy seems like an unlikely candidate. The Gorosei and Saturn himself specifically advised against meddling with Elbaf, almost as if it were a final warning. Despite some vice admirals initially wanting to pursue the Straw Hats to Elbaf, Saturn stopped them. This strongly suggests that the Navy isn't involved in Elbaf at this stage. As for Seifer Paul, they've already suffered significant losses in Wano and Egghead. Rob Lucci and Kaku are in rough shape, and Shaka's condition is unknown. Several agents, like Guernica, were outright killed in Wano. Considering these setbacks, it seems unlikely that Seifer would have the manpower to send someone to target Saul in Elbaf. Now, as a wild idea, maybe Wanze has somehow risen through the ranks and decided to take on Saul with his ramen kenpo. Imagine him poisoning Saul with ramen. But realistically, that seems unlikely. So who could it actually be? This brings us to the possibility that the trouble brewing in Elbaf itself might hold the key. The unfolding events there could be central to the story moving forward. Have you all noticed this? Something incredible is actually depicted in this issue of Weekly Shonen Jump. It appears in the section after the main story, the World Economic Journal Extra Edition. It mentions trouble in Elbaf. The key lies with the young warrior Hadrudin. In fact, within the story, Dory and Brogy also talk about some kind of trouble occurring in Elbaf during their conversation with the Straw Hat crew. Although the details of this trouble remain unclear, it's likely that it's more serious than we initially thought. Currently, the story is divided into several parts. Robin and Frankie's group with Dory and Brogy, Luffy's group with Loki, Hadrudin's group, and the rest of the Straw Hats from the East Blue plus Chopper. I believe the first groups to converge will likely be Hadrudin and Robin's group, with this ongoing trouble serving as the catalyst for their reunion. If Saul ends up being seriously injured, this could very well be the direction the next chapter takes. The fact that Hadrudin is identified as the key to this trouble confirms his importance to the plot. In this chapter, we see Hadrudin saying, "Good thing I caught this reindeer. I made it in time." He's carrying what appears to be an Etosaurus, a rare and prized creature that doesn't normally live in the upper forest. Hadrudin imagines how happy the Straw Hats will be with its delicious meat, hinting that he is near the area where Luffy and Loki are located. The chapter also gives a detailed introduction to Hadrudin. For example, it explains, Hadrudin is a former member of Buggy's Delivery who was caught up in Doflamingo's schemes in Dressrosa. He was saved by the Straw Hat crew and became one of the 7 captains of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. The new giant warrior pirates, led by Hadrudin, are composed of 5 young warriors who represent the next generation after Dory and Brogy. His crewmates include Goldberg, the cook, Gerd, the shipwright, Stanson, the helmsman, and Rode, the navigator. The detailed introduction suggests that the new giant warrior pirates and their connection to Dressrosa and Doflamingo will play a significant role moving forward. Recently, Oda-sensei has been revisiting characters from earlier arcs, summarizing their importance to highlight their relevance to the current story. This makes it clear that Elbaf and the new giant warrior pirates are crucial to the ongoing developments. Even though the summary could have been condensed, mentioning Hadrudin as both a Straw Hat Grand Fleet captain and the leader of the new giant warrior pirates in one panel, The chapter takes 2 panels to emphasize his background, particularly his involvement in Dressrosa. This deliberate focus highlights his importance to the current plot. The reason for targeting the Nomi seems to be closely tied to Khajruddin's own dream of becoming the king of all giants, which is an incredibly significant point. Furthermore, when he executes his ultimate technique, a move where he expresses his gratitude, he shows determination to persevere no matter how battered he is. This resolve is embodied in his move Gugnir, which resembles a hero's spear. He demonstrated the strength of this technique within Elbaf, and this is where it gets even more intriguing: the connection to the land of the gods. This ties back to the discussion of divinity within Elbaf, where the mention of gods suggests something noteworthy. Importantly, it's emphasized that there isn't just one god. In fact, even though the Elbaf arc has only just begun, 2 characters claiming to be the sun god, Rodo and Loki, have already appeared. Additionally, in the final stages of the Egghead arc, Dory and Brogy commented on Luffy, saying something like, "How do you know the appearance of our sun god?" This means that within such a short span of time, 3 individuals have been connected to the sun god. Even if we're talking about gods, isn't this strange? It feels like something major might happen because of this unusual situation. Moreover, the sun is being emphasized as significant, particularly when it was stated that the painter cannot use solar stones because it's snowing. If it weren't snowing, the painter would have been able to carry heavy objects with ease using this technology, possibly employing anti-gravity devices. This suggests the possibility of highly advanced technology capable of lifting heavy objects effortlessly. Therefore, the sun's power seems to be deeply intertwined with Elbaf. This is where Vegapunk becomes crucial. Vegapunk once said that he created the Mother Flame, which generates an incredible amount of energy, likened to the story of Icarus flying too close to the sun, melting his wings, and falling into the sea. Similarly, Vegapunk's creation of the Mother Flame poses a danger that could sink the world into the sea. Why? Because the world government possesses ancient weapons, and these weapons could potentially use the Mother Flame as their power source. But here's the contradiction. The Mother Flame is a recent invention by Vegapunk, while the ancient weapons have existed for ages. This means that the ancient weapons must have originally had a different power source. Could it have been the painter or solar stones? If so, this implies that the ancient weapons, which at first seemed unrelated to Elbaf, might actually be connected. However, when it comes to the ancient weapons, I thought Luffy and the others would use the Mother Flame, but it seems they couldn't take it from Egghead. Since the Punk records couldn't be obtained, it's possible that Luffy and his crew might end up using the painter to control the ancient weapons and fight the world government. That would be an exciting development. Now, we are at the point where Luffy and the sun god Loki's meeting is unfolding, and an important point to note here is the involvement of Shanks. This is something I'm really looking forward to. The conversation between Shanks and Loki. It's definitely crucial. They likely thought they were both dead, and this is probably referring to Shanks and Loki. The conversation between them will be very interesting. Also, Luffy is asking, why did Shanks come to Elbaf? And what's the real reason you came to see me? Luffy is skeptical because Shanks didn't come just to see him. If that were the case, Shanks would have released Loki from his captivity, but he didn't. So what is Shanks actually here for? I think at some point, Loki will reveal this to Luffy, though Loki is not going to reveal it for free. It ends with the statement that he's not going to just tell him. Loki is someone who tends to leave things with a bit of mystery, and he often talks casually once he's punched by Luffy. So I think it's possible that he will reveal the truth very nonchalantly in the next conversation. And I wouldn't be surprised if Loki, in a somewhat mischievous manner, says something like, "I'll tell you about Shanks, but if you want to know more, you'll need to go get the key first." Kind of like a shady pay-to-win method. He certainly looks like someone who could do that. When you think about it, this whole interaction between Loki and Luffy, with Shanks involved, could really raise the excitement in the Elbaf arc. As for the New World arc, there are many interesting stories. But among them, Wano is particularly noteworthy. This is because the fight against Kaido happened right at the beginning. When they entered Wano, they immediately started fighting Kaido, and although Luffy lost and was captured at one point, it set the stage for an intense story. So, as for this Elbaf arc, I have no idea what kind of troubles are going to arise, but if a new boss shows up, I'll be a bit disappointed. It would feel like, who is this guy? Is this the next person we have to defeat? We just fought the Gorosei, the highest power in the world, so it would feel strange to be dealing with another new boss right now. I don't think it will be written in such a lengthy manner, so I believe the involvement of the four emperors will be crucial. Among the four emperors, I think Shanks coming to Elbaf will be resolved relatively soon, and there's a possibility that we might see this from Shanks' perspective as he explains why he came. I also think the next chapter could start with the Red Force, which would be super exciting. This is definitely what I'm most looking forward to. Now that we've heard a bit about Shanks from Loki, I really want to hear what Shanks has to say about Loki. This is something I'm really curious about. Now, about 6 years ago, Loki was captured, and I believe it was around this time that he was thought to be dead. Shanks knows about this, so it makes me wonder if something happened 6 years ago involving Shanks and Loki. In fact, there was an event called the Rocky Port Incident, which became a hot topic during the jump break. At first, I thought it was just a story about Kobe becoming a hero and Law obtaining the title of Warlord of the Sea after taking 100 pirate hearts. But when we looked deeper, we found out that Blackbeard was involved, and that the incident was far bigger than expected, involving the defeat of Wang Ji, a former member of the Rock's Pirates. Additionally, it was mentioned that the repairs of Rocky Port are still ongoing, which might suggest that it is connected to the main story in some way. Oda-sensei himself confirmed that it was an incredibly significant event. Looking at just the Rocky Port incident, it's clear that it's a major event. Another major event in the One Piece world is the God Valley incident, where the Rock's pirates were defeated by a joint effort between Garp and Roger. However, it turns out that the Celestial Dragons were involved, and even the Revolutionary Army was a factor in the rise of this event. Every event in One Piece is connected to the current developments. So the incident where Shanks and Loki were both believed to be dead, this could be an important part of the story, and we might even hear about its name. It would not be surprising if this event gets revealed, adding depth to Shanks' character. This is definitely something I'm very excited to explore. Another point of interest is Loki's ability. Loki himself obtained a legendary devil fruit, one that he acquired by killing his own father. This is the very power that Zed wanted to obtain. However, if you look at it from another perspective, Loki's actions are quite similar to Blackbeard's. Blackbeard killed his close friend Thatch to get the Yami Yami no Mi, dark fruit, driven by his ambition to achieve his own dreams. It made Blackbeard a hated figure, but I don't necessarily hate Blackbeard completely. Sure, he's the enemy of Ace, and there are moments when I dislike him, but seeing how he overcame obstacles, defeated Whitebeard, and rose to become one of the four emperors, he's undeniably powerful. When you think about it, Blackbeard's dreams, although questionable, are still a driving force behind his rise. The excitement about Teach, Blackbeard, is growing, and I can't help but be drawn to his coolness. There's something intriguing about his bloodline, and I'm wondering if the Kerberos theory is true. These thoughts make me question whether we actually dislike Loki. At first, when his name appeared, I thought he might be a loser or just a character with a simple silhouette. But now, Loki is incredibly cool. He's just too cool to be true. He's really a new, impressive character who's going to bring excitement to this arc. Loki is going to grow on me more and more, especially as his interactions with Luffy unfold. Despite his rough, thug-like manner, I hope that Loki's true strength will exceed expectations. If his power turns out to be just mediocre, I'd be disappointed. But if he's truly powerful, that would be amazing. After all, he's the cursed prince for a reason. And his 2.6 billion bounty is no joke. I believe we'll soon find out the reasons behind his past, including why his marriage proposal was rejected. So, I might be a bit of a fanboy, but I think Loki has a coolness about him, even if he's flawed, kind of like a modern-day Kaiji-type character. Loki ate a legendary devil fruit, and he refers to himself as the sun god. But he's also called the Cursed Prince and comes from royal blood. So, the fruit he ate must logically be connected to the sun god, or the Nika fruit. But here's the twist. Nika's ability is said to be the sun god's power. So, what is Loki's ability, and when he realizes it, what will happen? The story is set in Elbaf, where there is also the mysterious Holy Atom Wood, which was used for ships like the Thousand Sunny and Roger's ship, the Oro Jackson. This could mean that Frankie will play a big role in the arc, possibly upgrading the Sunny. Additionally, the new giant pirate crew has knowledge of Holy Atom, which may be crucial in the upcoming developments. In terms of power-ups, we can't forget about Usopp. With the crew finally reaching Elbaf, Usopp's role is bound to expand, and there's a possibility that he'll undergo a significant transformation. I'm particularly curious about the tree on Elbaf, which Usopp might notice. Usopp has finally reached his dream destination, the island of Elbaf. This is a huge step towards him fulfilling his dream of becoming a brave warrior of the sea. The key to resolving the troubles of the giant tribe seems to lie in the hands of Haraldin, but it's possible that Usopp himself will play a heroic role in this, maybe even becoming a God Usopp, or perhaps Sun God Usopp. Currently, Usopp can control plants, which rely on sunlight to grow. This could imply that he possesses a form of the Sun God ability. By using the power of sunstones, Usopp's abilities could evolve further. There's also a chance that Usopp will learn to use Haki, possibly even the advanced form, the Conqueror's Haki. He has hinted at this before, like during the Wano Country arc. So there might be an exciting development where Usopp unlocks this power. The Elbaf arc ties back to previous storylines in One Piece, with references to the Little Garden and other past arcs. The characters in the Straw Hat crew are all progressing, with Chopper, Robin, and others showing signs of development. Frankie, Brook, and Jinbei too have unresolved dreams, especially related to Fishman Island and Princess Otohime's wishes. This indicates that the entire crew will power up as the story advances. In addition, there's the possibility that Yamato, who has been hinted at as the 10th member of the crew, could be joining the team soon. Yamato has ties to the ancient giants and could play a key role in the giant tribe's storyline, particularly with the numbers. This suggests that the Straw Hat Pirates are growing stronger as they prepare for the final showdown. As for Vivi, there are indications she will have a significant role in the upcoming Elbaf arc. Fans are eagerly waiting to see how she will fit into the larger narrative. The speaker encourages viewers to leave comments about what they're hoping for in the next One Piece chapter. Whether it's for certain characters like Shanks or characters like Lucky Roo or Garland, fans are urged to share their thoughts.